What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster. And did you ever know somebody who liked to one-up everything that you said? For example, you could tell him that you ran a mile, and he'd tell you that he ran 2. You could tell him that you bought the new Nintendo, and he'd tell you that he bought the new Nintendo and the new PlayStation.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Yeah, people like that are insufferable as hell, but arguably it's even more insufferable when a writer does that in a story. Particularly annoying is the girl boss trope that we have seen in the past decade or so, where they replace a male character with a new female character, and she's the same thing that he was, only better, without even trying, for reasons that don't really make any damn sense most of the time. Rey, in the Star Wars trilogy, is the quintessential example of this, replacing Luke Skywalker for no good reasons, and sadly, it truly seems that The Witcher is about to go down this same path.
Oh no, not again.
Now, for all the feminist sewer creatures out there preparing to type some scathing retort about sexism in the comment section below, please don't let me stop you. The algorithm loves it, and your impotent annoyance amuses the hell out of me. But allow me to say this, Ciri being the main character in this game is not a problem, not on its face. I think that for many fans of the series, this was always the natural progression that was expected. After all, Ciri was a playable character at times in the last game. The problem lies in the fact that they are trying to turn her into a female replacement of Geralt. Apparently, a large chunk of modern writers are under the impression that the only way to make a badass female character is by being a clone of the male characters.
Why would you think that? Why would you even think that?
In a recent podcast, the developers of Witcher 4 provided some interesting insight into how Ciri would be different than Geralt, informing us that she would play exactly like him, but faster and better. A faster and better version of him. Apparently, she moves like liquid, and he moved like a block. But the worst trouble is that they just keep on emphasizing all the physical traits of Ciri, clearly trying to push her as the girl version of Geralt, neglecting the fact that she was already an interesting character with her own powerful magic. But these days, it seems that if there's anything that a studio hates to see, it's a unique female character who stands on her own. They feel compelled to turn all female characters into lazy facsimiles of their male counterparts at all hazards, often striking out of nowhere and butchering a female character because somehow this is empowering for women or something, I guess?
God! I did not see that coming!
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and don't forget to give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But anyways, let's take a look at what the developers of The Witcher 4 actually said. Let me preface their words by saying that my position on this game is that Ciri should never have been made a Witcher in the first place. Yennefer and Geralt would never have allowed her to undergo the trials, and most importantly, why the hell would she need to? She always had the potential to be certifiably badass on her own. The character should have been allowed to explore her magic and be her own character. I'm willing to bet that they had this sort of conversation at CD Projekt Red when they were first coming up with the idea for the game, and I'll bet that there's a practical reason, at least somewhat, behind the decision. They wanted to make a game called The Witcher 4, and they wanted Ciri to be the main character, so if they didn't turn her into a Witcher, then the title of the game wouldn't have made a ton of sense. Calling the game Ciri Part 1 or Ciri, A Witcher's Tale, something like that, would have been a bit of a risk, and of course, it's well documented that CDPR has become a progressive cesspool. They think that it's empowering to copy and paste all of the male character traits onto a female. But let me show you what the developers of the game actually said. This article here comes from Reddit, link in the description. It says, "By now, it's common knowledge that one of the biggest shifts in CD Projekt Red's The Witcher 4 will be its main character, with players assuming the role of Ciri instead of Geralt, who had been the franchise's protagonist since its inception in 2007. Ciri, who is Geralt's apprentice/adopted daughter in the series, will naturally play differently than players were accustomed to with Geralt, which CDPR Senior Communications Manager Powell Berza emphasized in a recent episode of the Answered podcast, citing a specific instance from the Witcher 4 trailer where Ciri nails an enemy to the ground before executing a really cool somersault to finish off her assailant. And here's where we get the whole "she's the bestest Witcher ever" garbage. The article continues, saying, "You don't see Geralt doing these things," Berza said. "He's nimble, but he feels like a block in some sense. She's like liquid compared to him." Game director Sebastian Kalemba added that Ciri moves like she was raised by wolves, stemming from her personality, her posture, and stuff. Now, I'll say this. I'm among the people who always thought that Ciri would eventually take over the franchise, but when I thought about what I wanted to see from the character, it always involved her elder blood and the cool magical stuff that they could do with her. I don't remember ever thinking, man, it would be really cool if she was just a faster and more nimble version of what I've already played as. No, I always assumed we would get a very different style of game when we moved to Ciri, keeping the franchise fresh and interesting. Hell, she could have essentially acted as a Witcher all that she wanted. She could have continued to hunt down monsters and all that sort of thing, but turning her into an actual physical Witcher is just lazy, uninspired, and uninteresting. And now, hearing this from the developers themselves, touting the fact that Ciri is essentially just an upgraded version of what we've already seen, it just fills me with dread, as if that is the sort of things that fans of the series actually cared about, as if they're bragging about her abilities because they think this is some kind of a win. There's a chance that there will end up being some story element introduced in this new game that will suddenly make this change seem like a natural extension of the story, but I doubt it. Odds are this is all as blunt and silly as it appears on the face of it, and as a result, I'm expecting some pretty poor and boring storytelling because girl boss clones like this are one of the hallmarks of bad writing. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you make of Ciri being described as a faster and more nimble version of Geralt? Do you still have any hope for the Witcher 4 story? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.